everyone, let's talk about EVERVERSE. But Chibi, all you do is talk about EVERVERSE. Anyways, let's talk about EVERVERSE because I have an idea that could probably make everyone happy. So hopefully this gets to, some Bungie employee or something. So then hopefully this is considered. And at the same time, they'll probably look at this video, hear my commentary, and think there's a lot of problems with me. And never want to look at my feedback ever again. I'm a disappointment. anyways, I don't want to toot my own horn about this. Too late. So anyways, I have an idea, the best idea, for EVERVERSE, for Bright Dust, to make things a lot more happier for everybody, I think. I don't know Bungie's financial situation, like why they would need EVERVERSE this much. I know that people keep saying, well, they're independent, they're this, they're that, and I understand that that's probably why that they are emphasizing EVERVERSE so much, but I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know the financial situations. And in my opinion, I'm fine with EVERVERSE if I know that it's going to make Destiny better, make the franchise in general way better. And Destiny 3, when that comes out, giant, like something along those lines. So I'm fine with EVERVERSE. But the problem is that a lot of us are having is that it's way too expensive. And at the same time, getting Bright Dust is very hard to get. And pretty tedious, in my opinion, as well. At least Bungie did make a response about this situation, and they talked about how they will allow Bright Dust to be acquired through the weekly bounties and the repeatables of Season of Dawn, but that doesn't really fix the problem. Still, there's a giant famine to Bright Dust. It's not a matter of there's not enough bounties, well, that too, but it's a matter of how you get the Bright Dust, what you have to do, and all those kind of little things about it. Like, it's really out of the way to get Bright Dust for just 200. It's not like you're getting a giant surplus of Bright Dust. I mean, it costs 6,000 Bright Dust to get the full armor set of one character this Dawning. Do you understand how much Dawning, or Bright Dust you would have to get? Like, how many bounties you would have to do? A lot! And those weeklies, just in 1 week, would not be enough. And Season of Dawn, I think, only lasts like 3 weeks. So, if you were trying to start at 0 on Bright Dust and try and get everything free out of the armor, at least, you're gonna be sadly disappointed. So that's where the problem comes in on prices and all the Bright Dust, famine of the bounties and whatnot. So anyways, I'm getting off topic here. Let's talk about the idea. Now, one of the ideas that I'm going to say before I get to my greatest idea is that they do need to look at the prices of things in EVERVERSE. I honestly feel like some of these things are priced a little too high for what they are. I mean, the Helm of Saint 14 skin, for it being, I think it was like $5 or $6. That's a little bit much, in my opinion, for a helmet that doesn't really change much on the aesthetic. It just kind of has scars in it. It's like, hey, we took that Helm of Saint 14 that you already have, and we put dents in it. $6, please. Like, I don't think that's really that worth it. If it was like $2 to $1, maybe. But some of these other skins that are really well done, same thing, like, the prices for them could be a little bit reduced, even though that they look really cool, but they can be like $3, especially if you're a season pass holder. The point is that a lot of people just feel like EVERVERSE for season pass holders is a bit much when you're already paying every single season to get the content and whatever. So, I don't know. But with prices aside, let's talk about Bright Dust. This is the idea that I have. So the idea that I have is take away Bright Dust from all the bounties that are already in the game other than, the free events. I feel like that should stay. But here's the thing. Having to get Bright Dust through the weekly bounties of Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit is very out of the way for players that play your game a lot. The point of getting Bright Dust back then was just you played the game. If you played the game the most, you get the bright dust the most. Yes, it was RNG based on what you would get out of the engram, the loot box, basically. And when you dismantled them, you would get a certain amount of bright dust. And obviously, if it was an exotic item, you get more bright dust out of it. Plus, you can get a surplus of bright dust for turning in those engrams. I know that the notorious engram or the new bright engrams that we get now can also chance giving you bright dust, like just right off the bat. But anything you dismantle now, you don't get bright dust. So those bright engrams that used to be a giant help for bright dust farming is gone. And Bungie's fix to this was to turn them into bounties entirely. And I knew that where this was going to go, it was not going to be something easy to get. It wasn't going to be something that you could just be, oh, I'm going to just do the raid, or I'm going to just do my pinnacle activities, and that's it, and I'm going to get a lot of bright dust. No, instead, you are found, oh, well, I still need to do Crucibles ones, and I still need to do Gambit. And I know a lot of people are very mixed on Gambit for good reasons. So most people probably skip those weeklies. So here's the fix. Just take the bounties and push them somewhere else. EVERVERSE. Tests. It would be the best idea that they could do, but make these bounties very generic. No, I'm not saying do the bounties beforehand that Tess had. Those were stupid. I'm sorry, Bungie, but seriously, 150 bright dust, and you have to do 5 Gambit matches, and like do something extra on that. Yeah, remember those bounties? Those no one wanted to do. You had to turn in those like cards or whatever to purchase those bounties. No one wanted to do those. They were so just annoying. They were clearly meant to be tedious, so then they were something that you probably wouldn't want to do to get a lot of bright dust. So I have a better fix of doing that is make them more generic. So for example, we're still going to have 2 weeklies. We'll still have 5 dailies, and you can do repeatables. Repeatables will only give you maybe like 10 to 20 bright dust. They don't give you double XP at all. Or XP at all. These bounties don't give you XP at all. All they give you is bright dust. So the incentive to these bounties is just tie the Eververse to playing the game and having those in your inventory. I think that could be something that they can definitely look at. The dailies will drop for all of them around like 100 to 150 bright dust, maybe 200 if that's too much, then okay. And the weeklies should drop around 500 to 800, around that range in bright dust. Now, the weeklies, you would think that would be, oh my god, you have to do so much. No, I think the weeklies could be like one of them, and they're always the same every single week. One of them will be do 30 activities or 40, and those activities can be anything from doing strikes, crucible matches, gambit matches, checkpoints and raids, doing the nightfall. And maybe there could be means for, like, if you're doing patrol, if you're doing public events, that counts as one, but not the patrol beacons. But basically where any activity in the game can make progress to that bounty, so you can get bright dust. The other one could be like, take out 1,000 combatants in the game. It doesn't matter what enemy type, it doesn't matter where, just 1,000. See where I'm getting at? And then the dailies would basically be kind of those generic bounties, just a little bit easier. Maybe one of them is like drop 50 orbs or 100. Get 40 precision kills or 50. I feel like making things specific tied to like melees and grenades is not really a good move, especially for hunters, because we've learned that with the melee part, it's kind of annoying. But I don't know, they could think of many different things, maybe like super kills, and they're always the same. So it doesn't get like, oh, what do I have to do this time? They're very basic, they're generic or whatever, and you can get them done either in your own pace or relatively quick if you know what you're doing, if you know what's the best way to farm these. And I feel like Bungie needs to do something like that because it's respecting your community. The problem is EVERVERSE, and I've said this before, that no matter what, it is way too disrespectful to the community because of many different factors. I know what they're doing. I know how their mindset is with the EVERVERSE store, and it's not really that friendly. It's not. I mean, the fact that Season of Dawn starts and you see the things that you could buy with Bright Dust is like nothing. The only thing that is purchasable with Bright Dust on the first week of Season of Dawn is all old stuff. Did you not notice that? There was none of the new stuff. So it incentivizes people to purchase them right away rather than waiting to purchase it for free with Bright Dust. And that same thing with when they decide to have a means of telling you what things will be Bright Dust sold and what won't. As of right now, the only way to figure that out is going to their Twitter. You don't see it in the store where it says, hey, this item will be sold for Bright Dust as well, or this will be exclusive to Silver. Like, nothing in the game to tell you, and I'm pretty sure they could definitely do that. The Bright Dust section is just so empty, and it really just shows what is emphasized. Look at the store. Literally look at the front page. Everything there. It is got giant boxes to show you exactly what you could spend your silver. You move all the way down to the Bright Dust section and it's like empty. Like, why is it there? Maybe if they put bounties there, it would be a little bit better, but it's just empty. There's just nothing, and it's really, really disappointing. Like, I'm not mad at Bungie. I'm not. I want them to do better. I want them to have a really good reputation by the community. I mean, we just won the reward of, best, supportive community in a game or whatever for Destiny, and that well deserved. And I honestly give a lot of praise to Bungie employees and such, everyone that works at Bungie and everyone that's part of this community, because we speak our opinions and at the same time we work together and things go good most of the time. And this is one of those situations that I would like to make both ends happy, because no matter what, the way that they do Bright Dust now is purposely meant to be tedious, it feels like, so then you never want to get or can get anything free. The reason why I say you will never want to is because, again, they're tedious bounties. You have to go out of your way and play Gambit even though you don't want to play Gambit, maybe. You have to do strikes when you just want to play Crucible. You don't want to touch Crucible, but you would love to play Gambit. You know, those kind of players. But you're playing a lot out of the game. And one of the things that I thought to myself was going, to happen with the Season Pass was that there was going to be way more Bright Dust this season, because last one was really, really sad. No, look at it. 100 Bright Dust? Seriously? That's it? For certain ranks? It's not like every single rank. It would be understanding if it was every single rank you got 100 Bright Dust, but no. There's just 100 and it's very spread out. There is still a Bright Dust famine, and it's a big issue when it comes to the reputation to Bungie and how they treat EVERVERSE, how they treat this microtransaction store. Like it or not, Bungie, this game is a looter shooter. And when you have a looter shooter, people tend to love the cosmetics. And now you push all the cosmetics in the EVERVERSE store. I feel like also you need to look at trying to do what you did in D2 Vanilla, when you kind of were stressing about people leaving, and you had cosmetics like the exotic emote in the raid, or the blue emote where it was the callus clap, and then there was also the exotic ghost shell in the Crucible that you can earn, and the one in Trials, and there was a ship from Zavala. Exotic, get that point, because there are cosmetics you can earn, but they're all legendary. It's kind of sad, honestly, and their designs are very lazily made too. And then when you compare it to EVERVERSE, of course, I don't know. I'm fine with anything that they could possibly do. One of the things that I mentioned, but I think that's probably the best idea they could probably do to make both ends happy. But they need to talk about this more. They need to get feedback more. I just want to criticize things. I don't want to be angry. I'm disappointed, but in no ways am I mad enough where I don't want to play Destiny. I don't think that would really happen, but I know that there is a lot of risks on the general public to not want to play Destiny because they know about the scummy stuff that they're doing, if that ever comes to that. And I don't want that to happen again, because it did happen in Destiny 2 Vanilla, and I seen the articles. So either way, I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below about this situation. If you have a better one, if you agree, if you disagree, anything along those lines. If you want this to get out there and you want this to happen, maybe you could share this. I don't know, but leaving a like, leaving a comment, it's the best thing you can do if you don't want to share, but sharing will definitely help as well. But either way, I hope you have a Chibi-tastic day, and thank you so much for listening. Chibi out.